What's going on, everybody? It's Bud. Hope I found you doing well today, and welcome back to some more World of Tanks. In this one, we're going to do it a little bit differently, because as you can see, I already have the Mark of Excellence on this tank. As you can see from this and from the barrel right here, this skin makes it look like not what the French marks look like. It's one of the 2D skins that have a unique visual Mark of Excellence instead of just the standard nation Mark of Excellence. Instead of playing games to get the mark in this one, what we're going to do, I'm just going to hop over to Tanks GG. I'm going to show you the stats, I'll show you the armor layout, and then I'm going to show you the replay of the game that I played to get my Mark of Excellence. Oh, here we go, over on Tanks GG. This is the Vercingetorix, the Tier 9 Premium French Medium Tank. It's been in loot boxes a couple of times, so you've probably seen these. You've got amazing DPM, you got 400 alpha, which is amazing for a medium tank, let's be honest. You also have 297 millimeters of premium APCR pin, which is just amazing. It feels great. You've got a 2-second aim time, which is pretty decent. You can get that down even further with things like coordination, side by side, that kind of stuff. 0.31 dispersion, which, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't feel like 0.31 at some points, but what gun in the game does feel as accurate as it's supposed to be at any given time, you know what I mean? You do need to use a stab on this thing because this is a medium tank. These are literally worse than the Object 277. If you put a stab on it, it then makes it the same as the Object 277, so use a stab on this thing. You go at 50 if you're not in the speed mode. If you are in the speed mode, you go at 65 with the turbo, which is great also, and dispersion factors, aim time, da-da-da-da-da. You go into the speed mode to get into position, then you turn it off and you start being a medium tank, and then if you ever need to rotate, you turn it back on and rinse and repeat. You've got okay turret armor. You do have a cupola to worry about, but the front of your turret is pretty thick and will bounce some gold rounds reliably, at least at your own tier. I'll show you that in a second. You do weigh 60 tons, so if you do get to ram something, you will ram it for a lot. Think like the E50, the E50M kind of stuff. You're going 60 kilometers an hour and you weigh 60 tons, therefore whatever you're about to hit is going to hurt, you know? The only bad thing about this thing is because it is kind of a brawly turret armor medium, your camo values are just not it, Jafe. That's ever more reason why you would love to take this field mod to give you that extra 3% camo, but going down to 15% reverse speed, and if you don't have a turbo, this is 12. 12, and you just can't. Can't do that. That's why I didn't take this field mod. This is all the crew perks that I had fully trained on it. I did have coordination, concentration, side by side, and controlled impact on my crew members, but they were all like 30% apiece, so I didn't put them in here. Plus they're situational and they just kind of make the numbers look funny, you know what I mean? Like now it says 0.29, but that's not really the case because most of the time it's just going to be this. Here is the armor model for it. So quite literally just an AMX-30 with a smaller cupola. You have no hull armor, so try not to give people your hull. And you do have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is lovely. And if you do get to use all of it, well, now your upper plate's not a ricochet, you know? So even on a full hull down, there's a very high likelihood they can still hit this. And then if they do have some pretty decent heat pin, like you're fighting the E5, for example, has very good heat pin at 340. As you can see, he's got about a 50-50 chance to go through, and if he hits this one triangle for some reason over there, he can go through your turret. But it's a 50-50, so he'd have to high roll it to go through it, you know? If an E5 low rolls your turret, even he's not going through it, and 340 heat pin is some of the best pin you can get in the game on the tanks you're going to be fighting on a regular basis, you know? It's a very sturdy turret. You can kind of side scrape, but at the same time you kind of can't side scrape because you've got Wargaming's favorite corner plate right here. You know, I mean, it's 50 millimeters thick, so if you can try to bait someone into shooting at this and then you scoop forward and it makes them hit this, you can make them bounce. If you're on flat ground against something that has good pin again, then they're just gonna shoot your face, right? You gotta be wary about it. So you can kind of play brawly, but at the same time you wanna be peeking on a hull down and not a whole lot else, because this is where you're strongest. This is the mark requirement right now, so it's just slightly over 2k for the first mark, slightly under 3k for the second mark, if that's something you wanted to try to push for. Me, personally, I am sitting 2941 is what my averages are right now. Of course, your Mark of Excellence takes into account your damage and your assistance. As you can see, my current moving average is enough for the 1 mark, and then my current summary damage, that's my overall average in the tank right now, and as you can see, that's enough to 2 mark. So if I played another 50 games and I kept doing exactly the same, I would get the 2 mark effects. Well, I don't know if it's 50 games, but I threw an arbitrary number out there. Sue me. With all that said, we'll hop over to the replay. Here we go. So we are on Stajanki, and we are just pushing south very hard, because what else is there to do on this map besides win the south and then win the game? Because if you win the south, you then have control of the mid, and then that allows you to just go wherever you want to go, right? So we're just going to farm up the rear of this G-Sword tank. I keep looking back to my right because the other Vercingetorix is over there, so I want to be ready to swing and put a shot into him if I have to. He never ends up swinging, so we're good there. I just chuck a blind shot in, because why not? People are always sitting in that bush, you know? Let's see the other Versing. Gonna go over here, see if I can get a shot on him. Kinda got lucky that that guy didn't have the awareness to turn toward me and shoot me, but... Artillery. I have a good inkling that the T-28 is just behind a little thing. I thank the XM for putting a shot into the Versing. I go over here to shoot the Versing myself, because he's just out in the open, so why not farm up some damage, you know? T-28 gets spotted, so now I know he's there, for sure. Versing's gonna go again, put a shot. Kill the Versing. Well, that's good. So now they're down to 1 top tier medium, but so am I, because mine went to the middle instead of winning the south. I don't know. I mean, I guess to be fair, there's no heavy tanks in this game, so somebody had to go to the factory, so I guess that's why he went there. Because you can't send nobody factory, because then you lose south from mid, you know. But at the same time, pushing from north is very hard to do on this map. It's just big-ass open fields. You can't do anything, you know? Anyways, there's the turret armor holding up. Yes, that was a standard shell, but that is a tank destroyer. The shell goes into the dirt. Mine goes into... I don't know where it went. I do... unfortunately parked behind the Yudas there, but he got shot and then I parked behind him, so the outcome would have been the same to me. He doesn't end up dying, let's say that right now. He stayed alive the whole time. Switching to HE, because I was like, oh, Scorpion G! But I don't have a shot. I'm gonna rotate back this way to see if I can get a shot on the Scorpion. See the FV starting to push my Yudas. Sure I don't get shot from the Lancet in mid, in case he does start pushing down the dip. Chuck a blind shot at the SU, pretty sure I aimed and made it hit the house though. So, the Yudas fell back with me, so now the FV is just pushing into nothing and dying for it. Good on him. And look what we have here. Where is he? There he is. The T-28. Deciding to get aggressive for some reason. I don't know. I'll take the kill. FV thinks he's a better tank than me for some reason. I just put a gold shell into the top of his turret because it's a premium tank. I'm gonna make the money back. It's at this point where I'm like, that's 3 sniping tank destroyers and they can just kill me. So, anyways, look at this beauty. Bang! And I know I beat his reload. And I get the 2-shot on him with HE. So good. 530 and then 566. I think the alpha, yeah, the alpha's about 515. Anyways, Lancing bounces a shot off me, then I peek up and get my lower hull shot by the Kyrie. So I'm like, at this point, with the Kyrie over there that can just YOLO with the Lance in there, I'm like, I gotta leave. So I do exactly that. I hop that right into turbo mode and I get the heck out of here. I'm thinking, well, there's 4 sneaky tanks, an artillery, and then a light tank. And I saw that we still have a light tank. But I see that 2 of my tanks are YOLOing the light tank. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get in a position to support him. He's on the other side of the train tracks. I can't support anything, but they get it. So now we just have free reign over the middle and the north. We know the Lanson's by himself, because we know the SU and the Scorpion are still over there in the south, because they're triangles and they don't move. And we know the Kyrie is still in, this bush line over here, right? Because why would he move, right? He has no vision. He has no reason to move. AMX CDA is just a Chad and just drives through the north and absolutely discombobulates this Lanson, and that was great. At this point, my plan is to just go all the way over to the edge of the train tracks here, frost them, and then play in these bushes, see if I can spot any of the TDs and the RD and da-da-da-da, and close out the rest of the game. We've made it to the position that I want to cross. It is at this point where I'm like, I really wish I had CVS. So I asked my CS52 Lease if he has CVS. He doesn't answer me. CDA, being the Chad he is, he was just like, hell, I'll go get in the bush and try to spot. That's exactly what he does. He just crosses. He gets in the bushes. I'm like, well, no one shot him, so he must not have been spotted. So I'm gonna cross now. And I get into this bush. And we get to spot the Kyrie and friends. No. I'm sharing the spotting with people. Not quite sure how that one hit, to be honest, but I'll take it, All the shots that I fully aim and then miss, that makes up for it. Thinking of having a shot on the Scorpion, but I'm aiming at a mound. There's the pig. Kill the pig. Keep HE loaded because the next 2 tanks that I'm going to see are both very squishy. Trying to work my way around to get a shot on the Scorpion. There it was, and then there it goes. Oh, here's the SU. Bro backed up into the red line and I missed. And I get one more shot out of it. There we go. 6k damage, 500 assistance, well, almost 600, 7 kills. And I can confirm. I don't remember exactly where, at what point in the game I did it. But I hit a blind shot on a Lanson C, wherever it might have been. It was probably one of the blinds that I sent down the road in the town at the beginning of the game. Or maybe it was one of the ones I threw into the bush. One of the 2 that I threw into the bush. It hit a Lanson C. So I actually had 6,400 damage, just shy of 600 assistance. So that was a 7k combined game to give me my first mark of excellence. This tank is just it's a go anywhere, do anything kind of medium, but it's not quite sneaky enough to do actually everything. If you're on a map where you go hold down and you work ridge lines with your 8 degrees of gun depression and your turret armor, it just feels so nice. It feels like a medium tank version of the T110E5 if it had a smaller cupola. That's what it feels like, and that's just great. It makes credits on top of that. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.